So you clicked on this video to figure out how you can make money fast, okay? There's no gimmick, there's no lies, and there is no fraud, okay? This is completely legit, and all you have to do is actually do what I'm telling you to do, okay? So basically, let's say you have a certain amount of money. Let's say you have, let's use $1,000. Let's say you have $1,000, but you ultimately need $3,000, right? So what you would do is take your $1,000, go to a bank, open up a bank, and not like a Chase bank, not like a big branch bank, but like kind of a small town bank. Maybe like a PNC bank or some kind of bank that maybe is just in your state or something like that. Not like big time banks, okay? That's all I can tell you. Like, you just like go to the small timey banks, okay? What you want to do is open up a bank account. One that is connected maybe to a savings account. Ultimately, you need a savings account, okay? You open up a savings account. You put that $1,000 that you came into the bank with into your savings. Put the whole $1,000 into your savings, okay? Then there's no time limit. I mean, of course, you have to do your homework and see what their preference is or what their rules are. But ultimately, you should be able to immediately go into that same bank that you have your $1,000 saved in your savings account and ask for a loan towards your savings, a loan against your savings. Okay, basically, they're going to basically give you what you have in your savings account. Basically, they're going to loan you the same amount of money that you have in your savings account. That's what that is, okay? So now they're going to give you $1,000 because you have $1,000 in your savings account. Okay, so now they're giving you a loan of $1,000. Now you have $2,000. Most banks, this is why you have to do your homework. Okay, most banks, you don't have to leave that $1,000 in your savings. Okay, those are the kind of banks you want to deal with. You want to go get a loan against your savings. Take that $1,000. Now you have $2,000. Now you can either do one or two things. You can save the $1,000 into your savings. Leave it there to help you pay off the loan, because they're going to give you that whole $1,000, but every month you're going to have to pay on that. Meaning, if you only do $1,000, they probably make you do maybe like a $50 a month payment or something like that. So you could maybe leave that $1,000 that you put in your savings in the first place, leave it in there so you can use that to pay that monthly bill. Okay, but it might not make sense yet, but leave that $1,000 there. Take the $1,000 they gave you, and you go to another bank and you do the same exact thing with that free $1,000. Put it into the savings. Open up a savings on that one. Okay. Open up a loan against that your savings there. So now that's $2,000, two free $1,000 you have, and you still have that $1,000 in that first. Your original $1,000 still saved. So now that you can use that to pay both of those, okay? Because they're probably let's say they both have $50 a month payments. That's $100 a month now, because you have two loans now. So that's like $100 a month. You keep that $1,000 in there, because every month now you have $100 to put on here, $100 without you having to do anything. Okay, that's gonna run out eventually. But now you have two free $1,000 up front. Let's say you need to move quickly, or you need to buy a car, you might be behind on rent or anything like that. You don't have time to save it up. You need it right now, but then you have time to pay it back. Okay, now you can do this as many times as you wanted to do it. Depending on how many banks, or how many loans you want to have, you're going to have to pay them monthly, but you always still have that. That's why I always recommend to leave that $1,000 in your original $1,000 inside the bank still, to use that to pay off this monthly. So it gives you time to where you don't have to do anything for a couple of months. You know what I mean? Because you have that $1,000 that's paying off this, depending on how much money you need. You know what I mean? If you only need $2,000, only do $2,000. But just know, every time you do it, depending on how many banks you go to, you're going to have to pay every single one of those a month. So If you don't need that much money, I would say don't do it. You know what I mean? Because you want to make sure you're paying this off, because it, in fact, does report to your credit. Which, if you're doing the right thing, and you're doing this because you need it done, you know, you need it, it's an emergency, and you pay it off and everything, it ultimately is going to help your credit, because they are loans. They're loans. So, you know, they report to your credit every time you pay on time, every time, you know what I mean? All that stuff is reported to your credit. So it's going to help you. This is why I always say keep that $1,000, that original $1,000 in the bank, so you can use that to pay, you know what I mean, and then do automatic payments, you know what I mean, online automatic payments, to where it's just coming straight on out and go on and pay it, and it's reporting to your credit. You get your money that you need, whatever you need it for, you get that up front. You have the money to pay the bill every month, and it's working on your credit. You know what I mean? That's the best thing. That's the fastest way to get some money if you need some money. But I would suggest only do it if you actually need it. Okay? Follow me, subscribe. All my social medias are the same, Lionish. And I'm glad that you came to visit me. Don't forget to visit me again. Hit the subscribe button. Make sure you don't, post notification bell and all that stuff, so you don't miss anything, because I'm only bringing y'all the good game. That's it. That's all I'm here for, okay? Don't forget to subscribe.